Hi, I'm Sherry Zach Morris and I'm a certified yoga therapist, and I'm here today to give you some tips and tricks about how to feel good when you're working at home on your computer for long periods of time. And yes, most of us now are going to be working a little bit more at home, aren't we? So I want to give you some advice. No matter if you have your own home office space or you have a shared office space like I do in the spare bedroom, or if you're working at the dining room table, you always want to make sure that you are comfortable so that you can sit for long periods of time without feeling those aches and pains. So a little background about me. I was in the high-tech industry for 25 years. I traveled a lot. I worked a lot on computers and laptops and et cetera, et cetera. You know the drill. We spend a lot of time looking at a screen, don't we? And we pay the price because we have aches and pains mostly in our neck, our shoulder, middle back, lower back, tight hamstrings. Yeah, all of those things is because we are still for long periods of time. So in this video, I'm going to give you some tips and tricks, and I'm going to give you some advice when you're working at the computer. In addition to our physical aches and pains, we might have things like lack of concentration. We don't have the stamina to make it through sitting at our desks for 8 hours a day. We might have trouble sleeping, insomnia, right? We've got some anxiety, I'm sure, some stress, a little bit of fear in there. All of those things will affect our productivity at work. And we want to take the best care, not just of our physical body, but also our mental self as well, so that we can concentrate and we can have a life that has a little less stress in it. You have probably heard the term that sitting is the new smoking. And why is that? Well, there's a statistic that says 125% increase in cardiovascular disease for the people who sit a lot. Why is that? Cardio meaning heart, vascular meaning the movement of blood through your system. And if we're sitting for long periods of time, there's not a lot of blood moving. Therefore, the heart is not required to work as hard, basically. So everybody right now, I want you to pick one foot up and just point and flex. Yeah, these are called ankle pumps. And it's really important to do that periodically throughout your day and do the other leg. Good. You probably have heard about doing this on the airplane as well, right? It gets the blood pumping to your extremities. And do it again. And the reason for this is that the calf muscle is considered your second heart. It pumps blood from your lower extremities back up to your heart, and you want that to happen. Yeah. So as often as you can, do some of those ankle pumps. It'll make you feel good, and also it will help you to not get dizzy when you stand up. That's a blood pressure issue. And just a little tip on that topic. I love anatomy, and the reason I love anatomy is because if you understand what is going on in your body, then you can take the power and make some changes that are required. So if you've got achy neck and shoulders, let's talk about that and what's causing that and what you can do to remedy that. So I'm going to give you common postures that people have when they work at a desk. The very first one is called the bucket seat. Why is it called the bucket seat? Because it is. We're sitting cruising in our nice little hot rod, aren't we? We're leaning back, our sit bones are tucked underneath us, our hamstrings are very, very short, and we're just kind of sitting there typing away, looking away, whatever we're doing. So in this posture, our hamstrings are very short. They're tight. So your hamstrings connect to your sit bones, which is on the base of your pelvis, all the way back to your knee. And if you're tucked under like that, can you imagine your hamstrings are really short? They are. They're going to be tight. When you stand up, they're going to be so tight that you're going to feel that your low back is aching, and you're going to wonder, why is my low back hurting? Because it's been pulled under so much by those hamstrings. So we want to make sure that we are sitting upright on our sit bones, and they're called sit bones for a reason, because you sit on them. They're two like little bony protrusions on the bottom of your pelvis. So make sure you're always sitting up nice and tall and upright. Now for me, I have a little lumbar support. Looks like this. You can put it in any place on your chair. I put it down on the bottom, and it's called Go Lumbar. I bought it on Amazon for like 14 bucks, and it allows me to sit back in my chair, be all nice and comfortable, and I won't be in my bucket seat because it forces me to sit on my sit bones. So I can lean back and I can do all my work with this nice, beautiful posture. So be aware of that bucket seat. It's a very, very common posture that I see a lot in desk workers. And the culprit of that is going to be tight hamstrings and tight low back muscles. Now the second one is the rounded hunch. Yeah, it's this one. When we're just working furiously away, right? What's going to happen here? Our shoulders are coming up towards our ears, our head is coming forward from our shoulders, and we're going to have so much neck and shoulder tension. So what you want to do in this one is you want to take those shoulders up, back, and around. Yeah, you want to drop those shoulders down as much as you can. So periodically, through your day, if you ever notice that your shoulders have crept up a little bit closer to your ears, you want to take those shoulders up, back, down, and around. It's like an elliptical movement. Yeah, and just take your arms with you. Very good. Yeah, you got it. All right, so you always want to make sure that you're nice and tall and upright. Avoid that hunchback. We don't want any hunchbacks. The other one is I call the overcorrected or the type A personality. That's me for sure. Can you tell I'm a fast talker? I'm a fast worker. This is how I sit most of the time. I'm sitting here, very rarely use the back support, but the thing is I have very strong back muscles and core muscles, so I can comfortably do this for long periods of time. But I'm going to tend to have tension in between my shoulder blades. I'm going to be working those erector spinea muscles a lot. Now, what are the erector spinea muscles? Erector meaning erect, spinea means spine, and they're a muscle group that starts from the base of your neck and goes all the way down to your tailbone. Those muscles keep you erect. If you're in your hunch position, those muscles are overstretched and they are weak. So it's going to be very hard for you to sit erect for very long, right? If you sit super erect for very long, you're going to get so much tension that at the end of the day, all you want to do is just curl into a little ball. And guess what? You should do that. So to correct that overcorrected posture or those type A personalities, you want to kiss your knee periodically during your day like this. Yeah, so it kind of just rounds your back and gives you a good stretch like that. Good. And I say kiss your knee if you really want to bring it all the way up and kiss it as much as you can. Why not? Very good. Now there's another muscle that I want to talk to you about, and that's called the psoas muscle. It is your hip flexors. When you're sitting here, 90-degree angle at your hips and your torso, that muscle is very tight, it's very contracted, and it's basically not doing anything. Everybody put their hands right here on their hips and march. Do you feel that muscle getting tight? Yeah, that is your psoas muscle. And when you're sitting for long periods of time and you stand up, you're going to say like, whoa, this area is really tight. So periodically through your day, you want to stretch it out. A great way to do it in the chair is just hold on to your seat and just kind of pivot yourself so you can drop a knee down. See how that extends that area right there? Good. And then you can just pivot to the other side and drop that knee down and stretch that. Good. Now, if you want to do a super duper psoas stretch, you're going to do the same thing, but you're going to lift the arm up. Yeah, that psoas muscle connects your trunk and the lower part of your body. So anytime you do a little movement like this or a little movement like that, that will get into that psoas muscle a little bit better. Let's do the other side. You dip it down, you bring an arm up, and then you can reach it in and just stretch it out. Good. Good. You did a good job on those. So periodically during your day, just find some time to do those stretches. Now, the last one I want to talk about is the forward head carriage. Forward head carriage meaning your ears are forward from your shoulders. And if that's the case, your neck muscles right in here are going to be super tight. Probably a lot of you are feeling that one. And you don't realize it because maybe you're concentrating and you're looking forward. So what we want to do is we want to take our fingertip to our chin, and we want to just gently move that chin forward and back. Just to remind the head that it really needs to be back a little bit more and not forward. Good. So those neck and shoulder areas, a good way to correct that is to do shoulder rolls like this. Yeah. Just reminding the shoulders to go back. Yeah. And then this muscle right here, this pectoralis group, we actually have a pectoralis major and a minor. Those are the muscles that will get tight if we're doing this too often, right? A good way to counteract that is just a big old open-hearted kind of pose, and this is called cactus. It's a very common pose in yoga. So just open heart and even go like this, and even take it back a little bit and just take a nice deep breath like this. And exhale. And inhale. And exhale. And one more inhale and exhale. So to wrap it up, we're going to take a little bit of care with our fingers and our arms because you know what? They work a lot too. If you are using the mouse a lot, which we probably all do, I recommend you to change the other hand now and then. So every month or two, I always go from my right hand to my left hand just to give my fingers and my arms a break. So the areas that are going to be a little bit of tightness, if you're doing mouse work, is going to be the forearm extensors, this area right here. You might even feel right here, there might be a little ball of kind of fibrous kind of knots and stuff like that. If there are, you want to be kind of massaging into that to break those apart. But to stretch that, we would take the arms out in front of us like this, turn them back to back, and then just flex your wrists like that. Yeah, Just kind of stretch the front of your forearms. That feels really good, doesn't it? Yeah. And then the counter pose to that is stretching the carpal tunnel. And you know how important carpal tunnel is. Most of the tendons in your fingers travel through your carpal tunnel. We want to keep that open and resilient. Yeah, very good. And then shake it out a little bit. So I hope those little tips and tricks helped you a lot, that I know you're going to be feeling so much better as you work at home these days. I wish you all safety, health, and resilience. Namaste.